want to, respond to them, sir. It is the duty of any finance minister to raise revenue so that the various competing demands are met. But here is a government which has already given away its fiscal space in very many ways to coming within 1 year. Sir, I don't want to do any comparison, particularly having achieved this kind of a level with the Prime Minister's guidance. Absurd levels of income tax prevailed in this country. 95% tax was on income. So my comparison with that will be absurd. Why? Because within 1 year, we gave a huge reduction in income tax. The earlier number was 7 lakh, and probably with all the other deductions, it would have come to 7.76. So people earning up to 7.76 had nothing to pay as tax, income tax. And there were a lot of speculation saying we'll probably go up to 8, 9, 10. We went up to 12. And today probably even 12.26 lakh tak you have no tax to pay. That is on the one hand. And on the other, in the same year, we, with the approval of the GST Council, I'm grateful, I'll never miss an opportunity to thank all the members of the GST Council. They agreed for a sweeping change in the GST that common man items have all become cheap. Across the board, no item was excused. Every finance minister and the GST Council came together to agree for it.
Suniega, please.
So, that income tax, 12 lakh tak no tax, actually has left 1 lakh crore in the hands of our people. 1 lakh crore was left in the hands of the people. That's a fiscal space I had. I could have made sure the tax were collected even to that extent. No, that 1 lakh is now with their hands, people's hands. So, at no point in India's free history, 1947 upwards, within 1 year, both direct and indirect tax have been reduced in this substantial level. And I'm happy to stand here to say I had the fullest guidance and support of Honorable Prime Minister that we were able to do it. Now, at this time, when we are bringing a cess on a demerit good after having given income tax reduction, after having widened the tax, reducing the tax for GST, we are bringing on a demerit good, and here are some members saying the government is so desperate for revenue, I need to give money for defense. Am I taxing essential commodities of the common people? No. It is only on the demerit goods.
Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am. माननीय सदस्यों, सभा की सहमति हो तो प्राइवेट मेंबर बिल इस विधेयक पर सभा के निर्णय के पश्चात ले जाए।
कल बात हुआ था इस पे एग्रीमेंट।
थैंक यू सो मच मैडम।
आप लोग तारीफ करना चाहिए फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर इतना।
नहीं, ओके मैडम may कंटिन्यू मैम।
डबल करो।
So, pan masala like item, sir, I'm sure not one member of this house is suggesting that pan masala must be made affordable. No one is suggesting that. Not at all. So, वो अलग बात है जी, वो अलग बात। अच्छा बात है। So, they should not enjoy normal tax, and no serious argument exists to defend that kind of a thing, sir. So the money being collected from pan masala going for defense, I can't see whether money is fungible, sir. I will collect it, I will use it for defense, I'll use it for road building, I'll use it for... Sorry? I'll give you the number-wise details, sir. Please patiently wait. I'll give you every number on every cess collected and where it has gone. So sir, नहीं लंबा नहीं होगा क्योंकि प्राइवेट बिल है, प्राइवेट मेंबर्स बिल है, मगर जवाब तो मिलेगा. Sir, therefore, collecting revenue and making sure your nation is well defended, I think is a right duty of every government, and that's what we are doing here. I just want to just flag how for want of resources our soldiers were left in the Himalayan cold without boots, without woolens, and without even food sometimes, that our soldiers had to stay at the border. We don't want that situation. We couldn't even procure artillery guns for a period of 30 years after that episode of Bofors. Nobody had the courage to go and buy any more because they thought scandal, anybody will mark them and accuse them. So everybody stayed back. We didn't even procure. For 30 years, any artillery gun was not procured. And the fear of that image, defense means kickbacks, made many ministers not to do anything, no taking decision. Why? I don't want to get into that, vicious environment of defense procurement means I took kickbacks. Everybody stayed back, they didn't want to take. But in the process, our defense forces were left without defense for themselves. They didn't have the guns, they didn't have the boots, they didn't have the artillery, and even for that matter, they didn't even have enough ammunition. So that was the state. I can go to every detail of, who said what at that time, to say, for reasons that we don't have money, we are not able to procure. Honorable Minister had said that statement in this house. I'm not able to procure because I don't have money. I'm not going into the details. But everybody knows the moment I say this as to who I'm referring to. So the capability gap which the defense suffered from, it took a long time for restoring that kind of a preparedness of our armed forces. Kargil conflict suffered because of that. Retired army generals have said how army followed a bottom line approach due to budgetary constraints from early 1990s. As a result, army was holding only 70 to 80% of authorized weapons, ammunition, and equipment. We don't want that stage ever in India back again. There are many instances, sir, for the sake of honorable members who wanted to quickly finish this and concentrate on the private member bills. I will only quote one, CAG report. 2015, the report came out in 15, but it pertains to the year 2013. Army's ammunition reserves were at a crisis level. Against the official requirement of stocking 40 days of war reserves, 125 of 170 ammunition types fell below the 20 days supply. Shockingly, half of all the ammunition types had stocks for less than 10 days of intensive warfare as of March 2013, sir. So that's the level into which our armed forces were depleted of their resources. We can't afford that. And therefore, we want to have consistent, regular, steady flow of income so that we are able to give that to defense purposes. There's one other example which always makes me feel very depressed. 2011 report by the CAG painted a very dismal picture of our coastal defense, citing ad hoc planning and huge manpower and equipment shortfall. The Indian Coast Guards, entrusted with much of the coastal security, sir, was operating barely half its required strength. Only 65% of the needed patrol vessels were with them, and 48% of the required aircrafts were in service. So that is the kind of lacunae that we faced. We don't want that situation. We should be able to provide for our defense far more efficiently and steadily. So I'll go over to talking particular members and their concerns. Sir D. Prasad Rao, Sri Supriya Sule, and also Srimati Supriya, thank you, Srimati Supriya Sule, and also Dr. Prabha Mallikarjun, I can't find her here, but all of them had raised this issue, saying there is no detail about the schemes for which the cess will be levied. I think many others have also spoken in similar vein. And also that there is no clarity on the distribution of the cess amongst two objectives which are stated. I want to clarify, sir. Section 7(1) of the bill makes it very clear that the proceeds of the cess are to be used only for two purposes: strengthening India's national security and supporting public health. This actually creates a